We're gonna bring up the man of the hour, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna bring up Spin El Poeta, the one who put this back together. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk to you guys, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Hey, yo, shout out the host, please. Nathan and Mars over here. Give them a round of applause real quick. So what you hear today is called La Raza Open Mic. And it's an open mic series that is in its 3rd season right now. And what we did with it is we wanted to bring the Latin American community, the indigenous peoples of this land that we're guests on, and the African diaspora artists together so that we could all share and learn from each other. So the space that you're in here is called the Centro Cultural Latinoamericano, the cultural center of Latin American peoples. And so we're all together here as one. And I want to give Jungle a special shout out, a round of applause to everybody from our sites over here. Our featured artists, you know, Worlds of Wonder and Ram are in the house too, so shout them out as well because they're going to be blessing the mic. I have to run out and get the rest of the Calgary peoples that are waiting on me, so I'm going to leave and come back. So I'm hoping y'all don't get on the stage yet until I come back. I know there's some discussions coming up. And Mars and Nathan are going to introduce you to some very important people who made all this happen. But before I leave, I wanted to share a piece with y'all real quick that I wrote, dedicated to a brother, dedicated to the Somali community and dedicated to a couple of brothers that we lost. Y'all might know some of them. Canadians go camping to pass the time in the summer, but refugees are biding their time in camps through the summer, and those tents have a very different meaning when what's left of your life has become so demeaning that all of your possessions can be stored within. An orphan from Mogadishu seeking refuge in Yemen goes through hell and the Gulf of Aden to get in. No free Canadian healthcare waiting on him, and those camps are no fun in the summer, much less in the desert after your village was plundered, and lightning and thunder are the least of your worries. Meanwhile, Canada plays the role of the benevolent country. She might even welcome you in if she approves of your story, unless of course you apply at the visa office in Nairobi. Then it might take you a decade to get in, and when you do, you'll have to pay back the cost of your flight. That's right. That Somali orphan in Yemen will land in Canada with a $5,000 debt in plain sight. It's called the Canada Transportation Laws, right? But it's alright, because at least we got a great education. Well, except for indigenous people living on reservations, they receive $2,000 to $3,000 less in funding per child than the children attending the white schools nearby. The original people of the land that we're on are subjected to similar or worse conditions than those of the lands that we're from. Guatemala, Somalia, Palestine, or Iraq. And I once heard an 11-year-old child from Adawapiskat tell the world that he suffers from heart problems and eczema. He studies in an unheated portable and he's never seen a real school in his life. The temperatures get to minus 40 degrees freezing the pipes. How the fuck do members of parliament sleep at night? Adawapiskat, indigenous territory in northern Ontario, here in Canada. The country that welcomes the refugees, the same country that causes the refugees with its mining companies and foreign policies, blindly condoning Israeli oppression of Palestinians, while Barrick Gold invades Guatemala, displaces thousands internally. We watch our gold flow to the company. Oh, Canada, land of opportunity, nation filled with irony, future of uncertainty for those in need of harmony. Your very own soldiers from the Airborne Division violated and tortured Somalis, and many of them are now a part of my family, and tragically, some suffer the same violence here that they try to escape. Allahu Naharisto, Habdi Nasir Diri, Allahu Naharisto, Guler Amir, Allahu Naharisto. 3 young men taken before their time, taken before their prime, their parents orphaned and oceaned away from their country and still afflicted by gunshots after all of this time. Oh, Canada, this Bill C-51 that you designed was a crime. Designating refugees to border detention, including the child, for border protection. Please, Canada, knock that racist bill off the radar. Own your own inequities. The need for humanity is greater than the power you gave to the Border Service Agency. Haters who hate us from Chiapas to Akwesasne, Gaza Strip to Soweto. This whole world is a ghetto. And we would not have been refugees if you colonizers didn't meddle with our internal affairs. All we ever wanted was justice, and we never crossed the borders. The borders crossed us. I thank all of you for being here today. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here. We're arrangements to do consultations in 6 different communities in the city, and it was important for me to come through to Dixon. Although I'm not known to your community, I work for housing. We got Dixington Crescent, Scarlet Manor, Scarlet Record. I've been working in the area. And over the years, I've seen how the media has done your community, and they haven't given you the chance to actually tell your own story. And so for me, it was really important to have you be able to connect with people that are connected directly with the federal government to speak your own words and your own truth, whatever that is. I have some of the friends that were in that Vice documentary. I wasn't really too happy with it because I feel that when they're not in the community, you really shouldn't be speaking on behalf of it.
Hey everyone, it's the one and only Brooklyn, yes, and I'm here on my big comfy couch, and guess who I have on my couch? The one and only Spin. Now, if you guys don't know who this man is, I don't know what to tell you. The youth down, the Jaden Finch man down, knows this man, eh? He has changed a lot of lives, and I thank you so much for being here. So, for those who don't know who Spin is, just let everybody know a little bit, just a little bit about who you are.
Word. Spoken word artist, poet, keeper of the mind, cosmovision, sacred Chokika, youth advocate for sure, firmly, and just got a love for a lot of hoods out here, you know, not just Jane and Finch, but definitely Jane and Finch, you know, Jungle, Neptune, East Mall, Scarlet Wood, just anyone that's going through the struggles and the hardships, you know, like my heart goes out to them. I came to this country as a refugee, and then I found poetry as like a survival tool, you know, and it turned my life around, it saved my life, it changed my life, and I've been teaching it to youth as well, and just giving them that confidence, because a lot of them already have the talent, so that they could share their work, you know. And the slogan of the business here is our voices matter, you know.
Nice.
So really in school they make us feel like it doesn't matter, or like our opinions are invalid, or we just need to adapt to the system. So we're really pushing for the youth to just share what they have to share.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love anybody who, you know me, anybody who, I'm always about my community. I love the youth. I love working with the youth and all that type of stuff. So before we get more into depth with that, I see that you're wearing your shirt, which is One Mic Educators. And we spoke about it many times on the show. Just let everybody know a little bit about One Mic Educators and how it got started. Like, how did you come up with that concept?
For sure. So basically I've been doing a lot of, you know, performing like a lot of other artists in the city. And then I read this book called The 4-Hour Work Week, and within it they had a concept called the Pareto Principle, which is this Italian gardener that was an economist noticed that 80% of his crop was only coming from 20% of the area where he was planting the seeds. And he started looking at life that way. He's saying like 80% of the stress is usually coming from like 20% of the people around you. You know, that was the first thing that struck out to me, because I started thinking who I had in my life, and I'm like,
facts.
yo, it's really just 20% that's stressing me out. I cut them off, I'm having a better life, you know? But then the flip side of it was, on the money side of it, as an artist, we all want to be on stage and performing. And I actually sat down and I looked at where my money was actually coming from, and it was coming from running workshops. Performances was cool. I did a lot of stuff for free. A lot of people out here try to finesse you, tell you get exposure or whatever, which doesn't pay rent, you know? So, but the workshops were paying the bills. And so I said, you know what, let me get organized, let me register a business. And I wanted to register a business because in our communities, like Black, Latino, whatever, we got this non-profit concept. Everything's a non-profit, and what does that mean? You're not profiting anything.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Or worst case scenario, we got these big-ass agencies that are getting millions, and they're only giving the youth them pizza and bus tickets.
Facts.
So it's like, I didn't want to go either of that route. I wanted to set up a business, I wanted to make money, and I wanted to put money in the pockets of other artists in the city.
Facts.
You know, so I've been running it now for about 4 years now. The business is running strong. I'm going into schools. We got a contract from the Michael Jean Foundation to run all these youth consultations, you know, in December last year. And I've been able to bless a lot of other people's pockets through my business, you know, in addition to mine, you know, so it's like, to me, it's a business. Like, in the youth that I'm mentoring or that I'm working with now, I'm telling them, yo, think of a business. Think of a business. Get your entrepreneurship, get your papers organized, and make that money, man. Don't let these other people make the money when we do what they do better.
Facts.
Yeah.
See, this is why everyone loves Spin. Because you speak the truth, you speak the facts, and sometimes a lot of people don't like to hear the truth and the real facts. You understand what I mean? Everyone likes to sweep things under the rug. And that's why I feel like the youth and communities love you, because you don't hide it. You don't sugarcoat nothing. If we can't get something, you let it know.
Yeah.
Yo, that's not happening. But I can work this out, but this is not. You don't sugarcoat. You don't come in the hoods and lie to us and give us those false promises. That's what we've been getting for years. A lot of these kids and youth, that's what a lot of them been getting. And now we finally have somebody that's actually real, that keeps it real. I really appreciate that.
No, man, it means a lot, man. I gotta keep it 1,000. I made my mistakes along the way, obviously, you know. Like, I'm very cautious, and I learned to just know when to say no. Like, I can't do this. Be mad at me because I said no, but at least I didn't lie to you or gas your head to think I was going to do it. And then also with the thing of running a business, sometimes you got to make business decisions, you know? People got to move a certain way with you, and if they not, shit, you got to just keep it moving. You got to keep building on your end of it. So you can't say I got a whole fan club out there, you know what I mean? But I definitely feel at peace at night. I have a clean heart, and I've done the best that I can for the people I have worked with.
I'ma pull up with this Glock, shorty. You already know it's lit, them. Wagwan, ally.
Yo, this shit really made me laugh. Like, whose baby moms is this? Like, whose expired milk is this? Like, who's she really pulling up on? Talking about blah, 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 blah.
I'ma pull up with this Glock, shorty. You already know it's lit, them. Wagwan, ally.
That's super real. Fuck, I've been holding it in this whole time.
You see, there you go.
Ahead.
You know what I mean? This show's about being real on the big comfy couch. So I'm gonna be real. I know you guys seen there was a catty on 6 Buzz. There's many of these catties, and she wearing a really dirty bra, and she was in a hotel, and she's there talking about blah, 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 pull up, blah 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 blah. You guys seen me already. I believe that at the end of the day, we as black people shouldn't be condoning this. Me personally, I feel like she's making fun of us and basically saying that that's all we're good for, to pull up on people and do the most. No, that's not what we're good for. We're well-educated black people, and we can do what we want to do. The reason why we act the way we want to act is because we've been oppressed for many years, so we can do what we want to do. You don't have the right to come into our hood and talk about man them, gal them, because bro, I'm telling you right now, let's be real. If one of the gal them or the man them was to approach you like that, you would call the boy them on them. So let's stop that. You understand what I mean? Don't get too comfortable and try to be, you know, Instagram famous and get yourself hurt out here. Don't do that. Because Becky, I'll let you know right now, if one of the gal them do pull up on you outside of the hotel, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. And that bra will go from being, right now it's like, what is it, brown? It will go from that to about red. Because, you know, the gal them, we will.
It's like this.
Spin, go, because I'm about to.
No, I got you, man. It's a concept called everything but the burden, right? When these people, and I, even though I'm Latino, I carry white privilege and I acknowledge that, but a lot of these white girls are trying to act hood or whatever. They have not unpacked their backpack of white privilege. They get to benefit everything but the burden. So y'all as black women are already profiled, are already stereotyped, are already looked a certain way, and now these white girls come in and they can take them cornrows off whenever they want. And then just go be Becky with the good hair. And I just actually wrote a poem, so I'm so glad you brought it up, because I wrote a poem called "Dear Progressive White People," and I'm gonna send it to you.
Is that the one that you won?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
we're gonna talk about that. We're really gonna talk.
But there's a line in the poem that fits what you're saying, where it says, "You never set foot in the hood. You love to act hood until the hood acts up, and then you call the fucking police." You know, so
bars.
I'll send y'all the link so you can throw that up there.
Seriously, we're throwing that up there real quick. Like, I'm sick and tired of this. Like, I see it on 6 Buzz all the time. Shout out to 6 Buzz, but right now, I don't appreciate that. You feel me? Because if we were to turn around and try to make fun of Becky's and all that type of stuff, people will look at us and be like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with you guys?" Blah blah blah. No, what's wrong with you? You understand what I mean? We are the way that we are because of what we've been through. You guys don't have to go through what we've been through.
Real shit.
Me being black, as a black woman in this society, I have to work 10 times harder than you, Becky. Know that. So you coming and making fun of us and the man them, we don't appreciate that, because we live this every day. We get drawn down by the white because of our skin color. We get racially profiled because of our skin color. You don't. You can walk and go about your business. We can't. You understand what I mean? People sometimes look at us sideways. People hold on to their purses. People walk on the other side of the street because of our skin color. Don't play yourself. And this topic really hurts me because I don't appreciate that. When I seen it, I wanted to say more, but I couldn't, because I'm just like, I really don't want to go off on her. Because literally, let's be serious. I have a lot of Caucasian friends that hang around with black people. A lot of black people. But they don't act like that. They know to be correct. Yeah. They know. You understand? Because at any time, trust me, we'll fold you. But
more times we've gone to the trauma units, we've gone to the viewings, we've gone to the vigils. Like, this is a certain pain that some of these people don't understand. They ain't even from the fucking city, some of these people. And they just come in and catch a quick dollar or whatever. And then all these other idiots following along on these handles. I can't fuck with half of these handles.
But where's she from? Hamilton, Burlington?
You know what's sad? I don't even know who the fuck you're talking about, because I've seen so many of them That I just
Bro.
blocked them all off.
Bro, they're like, then there's this, like, it's like back to back, like the girl's literally she's literally in the hotel talking about, yo, pull up, man, damn. Then there's a next one on 6 Buzz where she's like on there, yo, so what's good? What's good? What?
It's privilege.
Are you talking about, and then there was this Caucasian girl that walked out? Are you talking about that?
Probably. She probably pissed off.
No, it was on, I seen something like that. It was on Facebook, and there was this lady, she was really upset because I guess they were talking about racism, and then there's this one Caucasian girl that she thought she was right. She was just on some, I can say what I want to any black person or any colored person, and the lady was basically saying, no, you can't, because what they've been through, they went through 400 years of slavery. They every day they live this. They're racially. You understand what I mean? Be real. Like, I'd rather a white person be real with me and say, yo, I don't like you. That's cool. We have to work. That's fine. Me, you don't have to, but don't lie to me and make it seem like you understand. And then when you say something out of pocket, all of a sudden, oh, I didn't mean to say it. Yes, you did. Stop saying you didn't mean to say it. You did mean to say it, because if you didn't, you wouldn't have never said it.
Everything is blessed everywhere. Like, we got our own shit to work out.
Yeah.
But that's for us to do it, not for them to come in and comment on.
Facts.
Because they got their own shit too.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shit.
what's wrong with her?
This is a whole new podcast right here. I feel
sorry.
like developing.
That pissed me off, dog.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
I'm sorry, Dear White People. If you guys watch that on Netflix, watch it. Dear White People. That's what you guys need to watch. Watch it. You guys are upset.
Take in my poem too, dear progressive white people.
Talking about poems, this man right here, he actually won a contest with that same poem.
Yeah, man.
So, how did you feel like going? So, how many contestants were there first off? Because I seen a lot of people standing on that stage, boy.
Basically, what it is about 140 people, poets that compete over the course of a season. From that, they select the top 16. They go to 2 semifinals, and from there, the top 4 of each semifinal go to the final stage. So at that final stage that I competed, there was 8 of us competing for 5 spots on the team, and the top poet out of those is recognized as the Grand Slam champ and the captain of the team. And I was blessed to have won that at the Toronto Poetry Slam on February 23rd. Yeah, man.
That's my boy. He's captain of the ship, not co-captain, captain. Yes, honey.
Yeah.
So how did that? What made you? Because I know when you're doing those things, how do you choose? Because I know you write a lot of poetry, right?
Yeah.
So did you because you said it was like a breakdown, right?
Yeah.
So did you have to like pick different or did you have to keep the same?
I've been doing this for years, right? So I've competed at Toronto Poetry Slam 4 times now, and you can't repeat the material. So there's basically 12 poems that I've used that I couldn't repeat leading up to this competition.
Got you.
And so, but I still had choices, man. I came in comfortable. I had 3 pieces memorized, and I had another 2 that I could read. And so I kind of vibe out the audience. I vibe out the judges. That's important because they pick 5 random judges from the crowd, and then they give you a score. And so there's no telling how it's gonna go, but it's almost like a spiritual process, you know? Mm-hmm. So I had a piece, like a really introspective piece, bigging up my brother Randella J, you know, from Rise.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Rise.
Yeah, shout out to Rise. And in that poem, I'm also talking about the struggles I went through, the depression that I went through last year that I conquered, you know, because a lot of people talk about depression in the poetry scene, but there's no growth from it. It's just like you just succumb to it, and then it's...
That's it.
I feel my heart goes out to these poets because you're not growing from it. And as a writer, I'm writing my own world. I'm writing the world I want to get to. So I ended the poem saying, I conquer depressions constantly because I am enough. And that's a concept I struggle with. And it was like a split of the second decision. I was going on stage, the sister before me did a funny poem, and the crowd was loving it. I'm like, as fuck. And I was going to do that because she was doing a funny one, but I waited for the scores, and she got the one, like inspirational, you know, introspective. Saul Williams was there. He's like an elder that I admire that got me into slam poetry. He bigged me up for the poem, which was the most beautiful moment of the night for me. And so by the second round, I had to drop the comedy piece. And it was beautiful because it was a mainly melanated audience. So even if the judges weren't fucking with the poem, the audience was. They were going buck, you'll see in the video. And so basically, once I had the audience, I was comfortable. You know, I just expressed the frustrations. I started out with a story about this white girl. It's conversations with progressive white executives at a student union. This white girl that comes up to me and asks me if the black guys in my office are students at the university. This shit actually fucking happened. This is the problem with some of y'all. This actually happened. The brothers that were in my office were actually aerospace engineering students. And they were in my office to plan a recruitment fair for black high school students so that they know that they would be supported if they got to the university.
Yeah.
That's literally what they were waiting in my office for me to come back so we could finish planning. In the meantime, I have to deal with this bean that's coming to ask me if they go to the university. So my response to her is like, I realize in your minuscule mind, there might be high school dropouts setting up a drug deal during midterms in my office.
Woo!
So it's like, but we're actually planning the recruitment fair. And then I had to bust in the idiot line afterwards because I was just so fucking mad that she couldn't conceptualize that these brothers were students at the university. What the fuck else would they be doing in my office at like 3 in the afternoon on a weekday? You know what I mean? So from then on, the poem I just go to address a lot of frustrations that a lot of us have experienced, whether we're tokenized, you know, like the one indigenous black or Muslim friend in your circle is not automatically a spokesperson for the whole of Turtle Island, Africa, Black America, or Islam. Like, you know, they're not expert panelists, because oftentimes what I've seen in those circles is like the one racialized person supposed to be the expert authority. So I'm Latino and a song comes on, I'm supposed to know who wrote it, what year it was produced, what the dance move to the song. Fuck, I don't know this shit, I don't even dance the shit. You know, because I'm Latino, I'm supposed to know, you know? So, or like, I've heard so many instances, like even in the schools, there was a black kid that got shot and the teacher goes to one of my dudes, Ness got him, shout out to Ness got him, he got a dope ass song out there, a whole catalog of music. She goes up to him, oh, you know that black boy looks like you. How did it make you feel when you... And he's like, what the fuck are you telling me? Like, what are you asking me this for right now? So I've seen it happen so many times where they feel like they can just come in and ask us about shit that we may not want to fucking talk about. You know, just because we happen to be of that race or culture or faith or religion, you know? So the poem was dope. It got the highest score of the night. I felt very validated. Tons of white people coming up to thank me for the poem afterwards. That was beautiful. You know?
Yes, honey.
and on a real level, I know we've just been shitting a lot on all these bozos that are acting a fool on $6 or whatever. But I respect the white people that could hear the poem and understand where it's coming from. Understand where it's coming from and come to me and thank me for it. Because that tells me you got it.
You kind of, you know, some people don't understand the word overstand.
Yeah, you know, understand. I like to say understand because they go inside and they reflect and they're like, I get where this is coming from.
I tell people that all the time, do you overstand me? They're like, what do you mean? Do you, because you clearly don't understand, so you, okay. But yeah. So
yeah, man, it was a beautiful experience. I had my little sister Naima Hassan there. She was a Grand Slam champ in 2016. And it was just beautiful. It was beautiful. Some of the brothers from Jungle came through. There was just people from all different areas, you know. And when I hit that line about, I'm talking in this case to university activists, white activists, and I'm saying you talk about the proletariat, but I've never set foot in a hood. You love to act hood until the hood acts up. Then you call the fucking police. Your white fragility has become burdensome. So the next time you feel the need to question whether a group of aerospace engineering students actually attend your university because they happen to be black, do us all a favor, check your white privilege, and shut the fuck up.
Boom! We don't even need to say anymore. I'm not even gonna call you guys what I want to call you guys. So, boom!
Yeah, man.
I love that. I love that. I love the fact that you could take something that was negative and you turned it into a positive, and a lot of people don't know how to do that. You understand what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if those young men never had the head that they had on their shoulders, and say for instance they were to, you know, take that personally, that could have went left, it could have went a different way, and stuff like that. And that's what people fail to understand. With us, it's more of a, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Definitely.
You understand what I mean? Like we have so as dark skinned people, you know, you go through it, you know what I mean? And it's like, we have thick skin to the point where it's just like you have to really, really say something to get under our skin for us to actually react and say something to you. Because 9 out of 10 times we rather just ignore you, pretend like we don't hear you, and keep it pushing. So I commend those young men for actually taking the high road. You know what I mean? And
you know what's dope is that I'm still in contact with them. We have a whole squad from back in the day, and so I shared a poem with them, and they were going buck. So we got a show coming up March 16th, and I'm going to get some of them to come through to the show, and I'm going to drop the poem, and then we're going to have a little Q&A with them for the audience to realize this is real shit. This actually happened.
That's
These
so
are the
nice.
brothers.
Where's that going to be at?
Down at the Centro Cultural Latinoamericano, Dufferin and Eglinton.
Okay, you see, this is what I'm talking about.
The Centro Cultural.
There you go. The man said it so fast.
Centro Centro Cultural Latinoamericano.
The man said it so fast. I'm like, well, what? Okay.
I'll send you the flyers.
Sorry, that was my Jamaican side. That is.
What you say?
Sound like the But yeah, so Spin, I greatly appreciate you
man,
and stuff like that. What besides March 16th? Do you have anything else that we should know about?
Yeah, definitely. I won another competition, which is a qualifier.
You're just out here winning, huh?
Yeah, W's. I chose to focus on myself this year, and it's been working out.
Good job.
Chill looking at me, Burrows. So basically, I'm going out to Vancouver to represent Toronto Poetry Slam in a Canadian Individual Poetry Slam competition in May. So if I win that, which is my intention to win that, I would then be going to represent Canada in Paris at a World Cup of Poetry, and the flight will be paid for.
We going.
Yeah. So I'll keep y'all posted on that. And I got to shout out my Health Suck peoples out in Bella Bella territory out in BC, like mid BC. Is about an hour and a half flight north of Vancouver, and all my Vancouver West End folks, because we're going out to build with them and the babies, and we're getting them to write some poetry. And I'm hoping to hear them write poetry in their own indigenous language, which is 15,000 years old.
Nice.
Never forget, Canada is only 150 years.
Yep.
Indigenous people been here for 15,000 years. Never forget that. Yeah.
Educate yourself.
For
One
sure.
mic educators. That's what we do.
Our voices matter.
Yeah, so tell everybody where he wants to get your
shirt.
shirt.
Yeah, get the shirt here. Let me sit up.
So while he's getting the shirt, let everybody know, your handles, if you have Twitter, if you have Instagram, and where they can find
I don't really fuck with Twitter no more, but on Instagram it's onemic.educators and Spin El Poeta.
Nice. Follow him.
Yeah.
Follow him. He's an amazing guy. Like what I said, he's been part of my family for years, and we appreciate Spin 1,000%. And for like what I said, for those who don't know, please follow him. Click. Like.
I got a big old one more handle.
Not a problem.
It's called the Afro-Latin Diaspora. So, like, the biggest diaspora of African peoples outside of the continent is in Latin America, in Brazil specifically. But throughout all of Latin America, we have a huge African diaspora, and that's why I started my series, is to bring together Latin American, African diaspora, and indigenous artists. That's all I feature all the time. Everyone else is welcome, but that's what I feature. And so I connected with them, and I sent them the Dear Progressive White People poem. And they show so much love. They put it on their IGTV. They put it on their timeline. They have 41,000 followers. The view got like 10,000 views already in like one day. I got like 100 followers off of them. Like, they showed so much love for somebody who carries white skin privilege to just finally come out and just check other people on it,
Yeah.
And so much love to them. The Afro-Latin Diaspora on Instagram. Yeah, man, much love to y'all.
Yes. Sure. You see, he's always showing love and giving back and showing support and stuff like that. Once again, thank you so much for coming to Worldwide. And if anything else, any time you want to come by and sit on my big comfy couch, yes, honey.
We'll get you the rest of the squad over here.
Please do.
For sure.
Please do.
And shout out to Worldwide Entertainment, man. I didn't realize how big they were. Y'all are doing your thing, man.
Yes, man. And if you want to be here next to Brooklyn, you just follow me on Instagram, BrooklynHoney23. But once again, thank you, Spin, so much,
for
my
sure,
boy.
Man.
My
Pleasure.
boy. Yes. I know the man named Pepper, and everybody's like,
yeah, Pepper. I love Pepper.
That's my boy. Oh yeah.
Pepper's the
Shout out to my boy Pepper, babe. Let's see ya. All the people them in Jamaica love you. Yeah, Pepper, my boy.
He came clutch for me, man.
I love Pepper. If you guys don't know, check him out, man.
Tutti, I got a big old Tutti.
Yeah, and follow him on Instagram, man. He's a man. He's a man.
For
I'm not
sure.
even gonna lie. All right, so it's the one and only Brooklyn, and I'm out.